Hello everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. As you can see, this is empty. Why? Because this past week I received my second laser engraver cutter. Look at this beauty. This thing is massive. It is a beast. This is the Xtool P2 and it's a 55 watt laser. This thing can cut through anything. It actually scares me. It's a little dangerous. You have to actually watch this because it's like you can start a fire if you do things wrong. So you have to be very careful with this monster. But this thing is so powerful. I am going to love doing projects with this thing. So this is, like I said, the picture of the Xtool. This is a very large version and they have smaller versions. I mean, any Xtool I think is going to be amazing because I don't know, just by using this for one day, I'm already hooked. So let me show you what I'm going to do. This here is a screen and I put the board. I'm going to be doing a wood project today. So this is a piece of the board that I put inside the Xtool. And then the Xtool, which I like this feature about it, it has two cameras. It has one above and it has one on the side. And it can shoot the camera and see exactly the positioning. There's no calibrating this one. This one is amazing. It knows exactly where everything is. So when you put your project onto your software, and one other thing I love about Xtool, they have their own software. You don't have to pay for a subscription to one of the other software sites. They have their own software, and I guess they update it. Like I don't know this, I'm learning this, but they've updated as they change things and they make things better. So I have the latest version, which is pretty cool. So I didn't have to relearn the version because I think this version 2.0 is pretty new. So I'm learning on the newest version. So it can measure the thickness of your board or your acrylic or whatever you put in there. It can do curvy items. This thing can do so many things, but I don't want to go through a tutorial about the Xtool. This is not what I'm trying to do today. I want to show you what we're doing. So this screen here is the project that I'm getting ready to cut out on the board, and it is showing me exactly where it is positioned on the board. So I can move those their ornaments up and down. So if I already had pieces cut out of this board, I would be able to transfer those images where I have room on whatever it is that I'm cutting. So all you have to do is get it positioned on there. They have predetermined cutting settings, so I don't have to guess at settings or anything. You just press this button at the top, which I didn't take a picture of, and it asks you what you're using. It gives you all kinds of options that they already know that they can cut, and I just pressed the specific wood type that I have, 3mm, and it does all the settings on its own. And then I just go here and I press the button, and then I'm going to hit start. So I'm going to let you watch this run, and I will meet you as soon as this is over cutting. Was that not the most amazing thing? It literally took 4 minutes. 4 minutes to cut these out. Look at how intricate these details are. I cannot believe how thin and perfect everything is. Look at how thin this is. Look at those tiny little pieces here. There are actually little pieces of wood left here for the waves. I cannot believe it. And like, I picked them up and they were done. They were just finished. They were done. It's time to move on. Now, I do want to tell you, some people asked me on my last project, the wooden project. I know these are really expensive, you guys, and I don't expect many of you to get them. But if you like any of the projects that I'm doing, just ask me. I can cut them for you and mail them to you. So that is not a problem. So I could definitely do that. And maybe I will put them on eBay, or just email me at the email here on the screen. If you want any of my projects that you need cut, just let me know and I can do that. So back to this. Are they beautiful or what? Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my Early American stain. I'm going to stain these. I don't want to paint them or anything. And I found if you just take a rag, if you don't like those, I'm not going to say burnt parts, but if you don't like the discolored parts, you could take a wet rag and wipe that off. But I think just for the sake of rusticness, I'm going to leave that on this set. And I'm going to run over these with my stain, get them stained, and then I will back them with some packing tape or something pretty big. And then we're going to fill these with resin. I'll probably do like, obviously blue water, but maybe sunsets or something in here. I'm still thinking about the colors, but I want to get them stained and dried first. So I'm just going to take some paper towel and a little bit of stain. I'm just going to go over my wood carefully. This is very, very fragile, obviously, because it is so super thin. So please, if you do this, be careful. You don't want to have to be cutting more. But I love natural wood, but it has to be stained. I don't really want it blonde or anything, but I thought that this would be pretty. This is the color we just used on our lanai ceiling that Dawn just did for me. You could do a couple coats if you want to, but I think I'm just going to stick to one. And then I will let that dry. I'm still trying to figure out what tape, because I don't want any leaking behind. But once the resin is in here for good, then everything will be really, really sturdy. And it won't be as fragile. Maybe I'll do the back since I'm doing them anyway. Might as well finish them off and cover up all those dark spots. I've been playing around with this tool. I'm trying to get familiar with this new software, which I really like. It's a little bit easier than the other one I was using. Plus, I don't have to pay for it. So I am trying to get familiar so I can bring you some more projects with it. I'll probably be doing mostly engraving, but I'll probably be doing cutting. I still have a lot to learn, a lot to know of the options that I have with this. So like I said, I've only had it for a couple of days, and this thing, I already love it. It's just completely, it's like, it's a beast. That's all I could say. The thing is a beast. All right, let me let these dry and pick out some colors. I think it's dry. I tried a piece of tape, and I think I'm going to do this in 2 pours. I pushed the tape down on this really, really hard, and it seems to be sticking. So I think I'm going to do the waves first, just because if it does run, I'll be able to trim it off and then do the background color. So I'm just going to cut this one. This comes with, this is like, I don't know, jewelry tape, or it came with some bezels that I bought, but that's what it's for. It's for UV resin jewelry. So I'm just gonna make sure it's on the whole piece. And a lot of you said when I was doing that other wood piece the other day, couldn't you put your resin in a needle tip bottle for those tiny little pieces? So I got out a needle tip bottle and a little tiny funnel, and here's the needle tip, and we're gonna try it in here. So I think I'm gonna do these as if they're sun catchers, so transparent alcohol ink. I think I got it everywhere. I hope I'm covering everything. Oh, look at that. It looks like it's not completely dry. So I don't know if I should take a chance on this or not. Well, I'm gonna go for it. What's the worst that can happen? It's gonna leak and I have to clean it. Well, I'm going to use my Azure Blue, literally probably 1 drop, and crushed crystal. So it's sparkly water, and I probably only need a 1/2 ounce. So let me mix up about 1/2 ounce, and I'm going to use tabletop resin because it's really, really thick, and this is getting poured really, really thin. So it'll seize up a lot faster than waiting like 4-hour cure. Even will have way more time to go underneath all these creases, more time than I want it to have. So I'm definitely going to use my tabletop resin. Let me get that mixed up, and then we're going to try to get it in this little bottle. I'm not sure if I could do it because it's really thick. Here's a 1/2 ounce mixed up. Of course, there's a million bubbles in it because I did it by hand, but that's okay because they will come out. I'm going to do just like 1 drop at a time. And see, I don't want it too blue, but I want it blue enough that you could tell that it's water. I also want to be able to see the sparkle in there. So I'm going to test it. Where's my paper towel? It looks pretty light. Maybe 1 more drop and then we'll put the sparkle in. Oops. 1 more drop. And then the shimmer. And I'm hoping I can get it through that little tiny funnel. It sure would help if I could do that. But again, this is a really, really, really thick resin. This is what I use for my top coating. So if it does drip over your edge, it'll stop in like 15 minutes. But it looks thin enough that it'll go through the bottle. Yeah, I don't see why not. Let's try it. Let me move this out of the way so I have no dumb mistakes that could have been avoided. Is it gonna go? Yeah, it might take a little bit, but it's gonna go in there. Great tip, you guys. See, that's why I love reading all the comments, because you guys have some great ideas. Remembering them all, that's the problem. So this will be a throwaway bottle. I'm not gonna sit and soak it in alcohol. I think I have about 30 of these things sitting around in a box that I got from Amazon. Are you ready to try this and see how it works? Let's see what happens. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's gonna work. Now we need to hope it doesn't seep underneath, because I don't know that it's completely dry. And you don't really have to have like a full domed, I don't think, because you can always go over it with UV resin to dome it up. But if I have enough, I will. I'm not quite sure how much I needed because these spaces are so little. What a great tip, you guys. It is working perfectly. This way you don't get it on the wood and have to sand down and restain your wood. So these files that I found, you need to find, they support several files, but I'm looking for SVG files. And if you are a subscriber to Creative Fabrica, that's where I got these from, because I'm a subscriber for my tumblers and I get a ton of my images from there. And you can just go on there and find an SVG file and download it for free if you're a subscriber. Otherwise, they're just a couple dollars. It's really, you don't even have to be a subscriber. I will put the link in my description box to Creative Fabrica for you, and then you can save some money on there. So if you do a variety of things that you need fonts or images for, especially for tumblers, I do recommend using them. They have everything in more than millions of images that you could choose from. It's amazing how many things that they have. Let me just speed this up for you so you don't have to sit here and watch me squeeze this out of a tiny little bottle. And I will come back as soon as this is cured, and then we're going to do that layer, which I probably won't do with the squeeze bottle. It's much larger, and I think I'm going to do like sunset colors in there. So I want them to merge together. Ooh, getting it in here is going to be tricky. All right, I will see you on the other side. I just finished pouring them. I only had enough left for a little pendant, but they took about 2 layers. So I'm guessing it's soaking into the wood because the wood is porous. But its dome is pretty good for now. It's going to shrink though. So I'll probably top coat it with UV resin. I did take my lighter and pop any little bubbles, but you can't really see them because of all the sparkle in there. So yeah, I'm gonna let these sit overnight and we'll do the rest tomorrow. Let me bring you where I'm at. So it's the next day, obviously. So I went over, because it does shrink when it cures, you all know that. I went over each spot with UV resin, cured it, and then I did the edges because I could. It was a bigger area with UV resin, so it doesn't seep into the blue, so it doesn't seep out from behind. Although I didn't have any problems, I just didn't want to take a chance. So I did that on both of them. Here I finished the one extra pendant. I put a pretty bail. I didn't even know I had that pinch bail, so it's on this one. And I just top coated that with UV resin, put the charm in, and then cured it. And I had Happy Mail like late last night. I went to let my dogs out, and there was a gift for me from Angela. Angela said when she first used this the other day, the first thing she thought of was me. It was the most beautiful white she had ever seen. So she sent me this massive mica powder in crystal white. It is gorgeous. I opened it already. Let me do it over here so I don't get powder on my project. But there is a beautiful shimmer in there. So as soon as I need white again, this is the one I will be trying. So thank you, Angela. I really appreciate you thinking of me. I have mixed up 6, well, let me see, probably 30 milliliters, not quite an ounce, of the same tabletop resin. I'm going to use red and yellow, and then when they combine, it will be orange in the middle, I hope. I just need to pour a little bit more, make it more even here. So I'm hoping that they combine nicely. If not, I'm going to help them. So let me just, and again, I want it translucent. And these can be like on doors, you know, when you have a glass door, if you don't want to use them as ornaments, so you don't run into the door because it's so clean. Hopefully this would be, I'll test it on my paper towel to see what color it will be, because it's going to be very, very shallow. And this one is called, yeah, that's kind of pretty. Maybe one more drop. Purplish red. I'll do 3 drops of that one. And then yellow, just yellow, both by Let's Resin. I'll just do 3 drops right away of that one. And I'm going to probably do some different colors. Not that different, but still sunsetty, maybe more tropical sunsetty. So I've got to Google a few pictures and see what color scheme I like the best. So if you don't know what color schemes go together, just Google it. And it will tell you everything you ever wanted to know. I can't promise everything will be true. You know, it's the internet. But it will show you some beautiful pictures that you can refer to. And then I'm gonna let this cure. This might be a little difficult too. I might have to put these into bottles as well because of all those tiny little spots. So let me just try and see what happens. I'm gonna just pour it very carefully. And I do need some over here. Then I'll just take my scribe and push it around where I want it. And I'm hoping it doesn't go up over my wood parts. That went in nicely. So if you don't overfill it, it's just going to seep into those little pieces, so I don't really need to waste another bottle. Let me get some, we'll get some yellow in and see what happens. I don't know how much I'm going to need. I'm just guessing here. I'm just gonna borrow some and drip it into these really tight spots. I'm sticking. So I think what I'm gonna do, since that one's done, I'm gonna cure it, and I think I'm gonna coat the whole thing with my tabletop resin just to complete the look, and it will all be level at the same level, and it will all be shiny, and you will still see the wood. So when I Googled sunsets, there are some beautiful purple, red, and pink sunsets. So I think that's what I'm going to do on this one. I've already mixed my colors, and it is purple. Imagine that. Purplish red for the red. And this one is no longer available, but it's by Picasso, and it's called Hot Pink. That's this one. So I'm just going to pour my purple in. I want mostly purple, and then a little bit of pink, and then a little bit of red. I did have a little extra on the other one, so I put it in my flower mold. So I'm gonna combine some of this in there too. See what it looks like with all these different colors mixed together. So let's see, we got purple. I'm not getting it on the wood though, because I don't want the color of my resin onto the wood. So that's why I will top coat later with a clear, of course. Pink. And if I am getting it on the wood, then I'm taking my little silicone tool thing here and I'm pulling it back off. And then some red. And I'm combining them. This one's got to go in here. I think that was supposed to be a wave, but now it's red, so it's land now. This one needs to go up in here. These are so tiny. I just can't believe how intricate lasers can cut. I had no idea. I'm just gonna mix in together so they're not like I have a hard line mixed. And then I sprayed it with alcohol. I used on the other one, not this one yet, but I used my long neck lighter and sprayed it with alcohol to pop any bubbles so they're not curing in there. But I don't want to burn my wood either, so that's why I'm doing both. And I hope this one is more transparent than it's looking right now. So now I just wait for curing. See, that worked good. So I'm just gonna pour in the rest of my red into my extra over here. And I usually end up making either keychains or magnets with these little flowers, little faceted flower thing. I guess I'm gonna fill the back with purple now. And that one is good. All right, see you when they're cured. They're cured and ready for a top coat. So I mixed up 1 ounce of my tabletop resin and I couldn't resist. I had to put in some of my sparkle dust. I just had to. I'm just going to spread it and top coat it like any other coaster. It's just on a larger version. And it's a lot lighter than a coaster, so it is a little bit harder to spread. So I think I'm going to just hold it. I did trim, I have the tape on the back still. You just can't see it because I trimmed it off just in case it dripped over. I wanted it to be able to drip over and not pool onto the tape. So I'm just gonna get it to these edges, and I think that will help the wood, seal the wood. It actually makes the wood look a lot prettier. Ooh, I like this. I can't wait to take the tape off and see the real color because the tape is blue. It's not clear. And then hopefully there'll be a sunlight out when I take the pictures for you. Let me just coax this around this hanger. That looks good. That looks perfect, actually. Now this one. And one more cure. Yes, it's a lot of steps, but I think it's going to be really pretty in the end. And if you guys want to do these, just let me know. Like I said, I can cut the wood for you so you don't have to go buying anything. Of course, if you want to buy it, please do so. You can make millions of projects. I know it's going to be on a lot of Christmas lists this year, I bet. And then I'm going to just torch these since there's no mold to ruin. I will torch the resin, get any bubbles out. And I do have this heat mat on. I'm going to cover it up just to hold all that heat in. Let me just do it like that. That looks good. All right, I just need a drip over here. Now this resin is extra super thick, so it's perfect for this job. This needs a little more on these edges. It's going a little towards the inside, which could be the actual ornament itself, but I'm going to try to keep it on the edge. Let me grab my torch. And yeah, I see bubbles coming out of them. You probably didn't, but that's it. I will show you the finished product. Everything's done and the sun is setting, so I quick went outside and took a couple snapshots to show you. Let me show you the extras. Here is an extra. I just put some iridescent foil flakes in here, which came out really pretty. You've already saw that one. This was some purple left. I just top coated and put that charm on there. And then this is the flower that was immensely full of bubbles, but it kind of looks cool. I mean, there are a lot of bubbles in here because it's so thick and I waited till the very end, but it's still shiny. I put a little flower charm on, some green for some greenery with the flower, and made a keychain out of it. So I took the tape off, and here's the first one. It came out so pretty. The back is a little wrinkly from the tape, but no big deal. Even if you wanted to back coat it, you could. I'm not going to. I think I'll put a ribbon on here. But I liked, let me grab a paper towel. So when Don came in, I showed him what it looked like, and I said, don't you think I should back it with white? Because you could see the colors better. He's like, no way, don't touch it. Like, leave it clear. You can hang it on a door. But let me know what you think. I could even spray paint it. That's that one. It came out really pretty. And here's this one. This one's a little darker. I put more alcohol ink in. And then here it is with white behind it. So let me know, which way do you prefer? I wish I could show you it without. Well, you'll see the pictures coming up next. All right, well, that is today's video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, even though it was not just resin, but I will probably be using this X tool quite frequently in my videos. So I guess stick around for the pictures. Thanks for coming in. I hope you all have a blessed day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.